What if the man preaching discipline, prayer, and God's plan was really just cashing checks off desperation? That's the nightmare hiding behind Ashton Hall. The man who told followers to tape their mouths shut at 3:53 a.m., baptize their faces in ice water, and call it salvation. The so-called guru who turned bananas and bottled water into something closer to a religion. He wasn't just selling fitness, he was selling faith. The perfect blend of routine, scripture, and swagger. To his fans, Ashton wasn't just a trainer, he was a prophet of destiny. But here's the twist. His empire wasn't built on divine order. It was built on cracks, lies, and blind hope. At first, you couldn't argue with the show. Ashton had it all: the abs, the tailored suits, the Bible verses slipped into captions as if each post came with divine approval. He had the backstory too, a failed football player who reinvented himself as the living embodiment of discipline equals destiny. Millions ate it up. Wake-up routines, silent prayers, grind culture distilled into morning rituals. And when parodies started flying around TikTok, Ashton didn't flinch. He thrived. Memes meant attention, and attention meant money. But underneath the clean aesthetic, the shine started to crack. Those custom plans that people paid thousands for? Most were just recycled PDFs, copy-paste workouts anyone could download for free. The one-on-one mentorship sessions? Try 80 people crammed into a Zoom call, each waiting for a generic pep talk that could have been lifted from any self-help book. And when clients dared to complain to ask for a refund, they didn't just get ignored, they got ghosted. Some were blocked outright, as if they'd sinned by questioning the prophet himself. What made it worse was the guilt game Ashton played. When clients didn't see results, he told them it was their fault. Not enough prayer, not enough grind, not enough faith. Imagine draining your savings to buy salvation, only to be told you failed because you didn't want it badly enough. One man poured everything into the program, hoping to launch his own fitness brand, and left broke. A woman said she never even received her plan, just a vague, pre-recorded video drenched in empty inspiration. Meanwhile, Ashton was still online, iced out in designer gear, selling faith and discipline as if his empire wasn't already collapsing. Then came the running videos. Clips of Ashton sprinting next to cars, dogs, even horses, filmed to make him look like he'd transcended human limits. Fans gasped, but insiders whispered. The math didn't add up. Cars looked suspiciously slow. Camera angles distorted reality. Was Ashton really that fast, or was the prophet just faking miracles? That's when a teenage streamer with a grudge stepped into the picture. IShowSpeed didn't want edits, didn't want filters, didn't want excuses. He wanted a race. The prophet of discipline versus the loudest kid on YouTube. Cameras rolled, crowds waited. This was supposed to be Ashton's redemption. Instead, it became his undoing. When the gun fired, Speed smoked him. Not once, but 4 times in a row. Ashton stumbled, tripped, begged for rematches, but the results never changed. The man who built an empire on routines got clowned by a teenager in slides. Overnight, Ashton wasn't the guru anymore, he was the punchline. Memes exploded across the internet. Banana Boy can't run. Pastor of protein gets smoked. The prophet became the meme. Brands who once lined up for collabs quietly walked away. Even Saratoga Water, an accidental sponsor, put distance between themselves and their fallen poster boy. And instead of owning the loss, Ashton doubled down. He claimed Speed cheated, said the camera angles were bad, the shoes wrong, the distractions unfair. He blamed anything but himself. That only poured gasoline on the fire, and if you thought the humiliation ended there, you'd be wrong. Because the memes were just the start. Clients who'd stayed silent finally spoke up, putting screenshots of ghosted DMs flooded Twitter. Bank statements showing thousands drained. Fake before and after photos exposed for what they were. The shiny new app Ashton promised? Just a rebranded $99 template you could buy off the shelf. And when the internet stacked receipts high enough, Lawsuits started looming, not from Ashton, but against him. Still, through it all, Ashton never broke character. He kept posting, kept smiling, kept dunking his face into ice water as if baptism could wash away the truth. That was the danger, because once your entire life is a performance, the worst thing you can do is log off. Behind the curtain, it got darker. Former clients dropped voice recordings of Ashton's team, promising features that never existed. A woman revealed she paid nearly $10,000 for exclusive mentorship and got nothing but one mass email and a half-broken login link. Another client proved Ashton recycled the same meal plan to multiple people, typos and all. And then the leaks hit harder. Insiders confessed Ashton was never alone. He had a team feeding him scripts, editing his routines, manufacturing the illusion of perfection. That's why the ice dunks were always camera ready. It wasn't discipline, it was production. And just when people thought the show was over, new whispers emerged. Rumors of debt, investors pulling back. Ashton scrambling to pivot into a new brand before lawsuits crushed him. Fans begged for answers, but Ashton stayed in character, clinging to the same script, the same rituals, as the internet tore him apart. Then the final straw broke. Screenshots showed Ashton reusing transformation photos stolen from random corners of the internet. One before and after turned out to belong to an entirely different trainer from 2016. That wasn't motivation, that was theft. By then, it wasn't just angry customers. Real fitness professionals joined the chorus. Certified coaches warned that Ashton's methods weren't just fake, they were dangerous. Imagine following a crash routine from a man with zero credentials, thinking it was blessed only to wreck your body and your bank account at the same time. And still, Ashton refused to step down. He went live, smiling through the storm, claiming his downfall was just a test of faith and that haters were sent by the devil. He told followers to ignore the noise, that only the chosen would understand his vision. But nobody was buying it anymore. The empire had collapsed. The mask was gone. No ice bath could hide it. Discipline didn't mean deception, and faith didn't excuse fraud. Ashton Hall wanted to be remembered as the man who changed lives. Instead, he became the cautionary tale. Proof that charisma can beat competence for a while. Proof that a camera can replace credentials until the mask slips. And that's the real tragedy. Ashton wasn't just another scammer. He was the mirror reflecting something scarier. That in the age of algorithms, clout can look a lot like character, and faith can be faked until the receipts show up. The final legacy of Ashton Hall isn't discipline or devotion. It's deception, silence, and a trail of receipts that won't go away. Because in the end, Ashton didn't drown in ice water. He drowned in his own lies. And the next time you see a guru preaching answers with nothing but a camera and a script, remember his story. Remember the bananas, the water, the ice baths. Remember the kingdom built on rituals and lies. And remember how quickly it all collapsed when the truth finally surfaced.